Met him on Hinge. At the time, I was on 4 dating apps, and Hinge was the only one I didn't pay for. So we started talking again as if no time had passed, and he asked me out on the date. He said we should go to this restaurant near where he works and gives me an address on where to meet him. It's the barbershop he works at. I Uber there because I don't like driving downtown LA. I pull up to the restaurant, he walks up to me with this random guy. He says, can you go cut his hair real quick at the barbershop? Alright, and we're back. This is obviously not my home. I'm at a hotel on a project. But I don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer, so let's just get into it. I met him on Hinge. At the time, I was on 4 dating apps, and Hinge was the only one I didn't pay for. So 3 paid dating apps? This is an investment. At the time, I was on 4 dating apps, and Hinge was the only one I didn't pay for, so it seemed destined. When we first matched, we texted for a while, and he just kind of went ghost. Then about a month later, I texted him out of the blue because I thought he did. My phone was just showing me all of my unanswered texts, and I got excited that he reached out. So we started talking again as if no time had passed, and he asked me out on the date. He said we should go to this restaurant near where he works and gives me an address on where to meet him. It's the barbershop he works at. I Uber there because I don't like driving downtown LA. I arrive and everything is closed and he's nowhere in sight. I keep calling and his phone goes straight to voicemail. I'm not about to just stand there, so I call another Uber and I went to meet with my friends at the concert. He calls me apologizing because his phone died and he tries to meet me where I'm at. I said no, we can try again the next day. I actually don't know why I was being so patient and kind because the actual first day was just a shake my head moment. So the next night I Ubered to the restaurant. I pull up to the restaurant, he walks up to me with this random guy. He says, can you go cut his hair real quick at the barbershop? He says, can he go cut his hair real quick at the barbershop he works at around the corner? All parts of my body said no, but here my dumbass is following these men downtown to a barbershop down the block. I was too cute for this shit, but I went along with it. So for a good hour, this man is cutting this man's hair when we're supposed to be on a date. Eventually he finishes and we walk back to the restaurant. We have a nice dinner with drinks and the combo was good. I can tell he's super nervous, which for some reason was kind of attractive to me. It was like he thought I was too good for him, and I was. I helped ease his nerves by holding his hands and he relaxed. The restaurant part of the date itself was fine. He talked a big talk, which I thought was cute. Talked about marriage and trips and all the things. Our date lasts several hours as we walk around the city and chill at the barbershop. Why are you chilling at the barbershop? I'm thinking I found a keeper. Clearly, I didn't ask the right questions on the date because I didn't find out until much later he had no car, lived in a group home, and he couldn't hold down the job. But I was smitten and somehow continued to date this man for almost 3 months and even let him move in? All the signs were there that this man was not for me, and I ignored every single one of them until I couldn't anymore. Let's just recap real quick. You're on 4 dating apps, 3 that you pay for. Okay. Then you match with this guy, and you guys talk for a little bit, then he just ghosts you. Then you thought he messaged you, so you message him, and you just started talking again, like nothing happened. Then he asks you on a date, and you meet him at his barbershop, and it's closed, and he's not even there. And you call him, and he ignores you all night. Says his phone died. But then you go on another date with him and he brings someone else with him, a client, on the date, which then he proceeds to cut that client's hair. You waited at the barbershop while a man got his hair cut. Delete all the apps, all 4 of them, and just meet someone in person. Because if you're 4 dating apps in, the best date you claim you had is a man that brought you to his barbershop, you gotta just break your phone. This is not the way.
To be honest, the date is actually not even that bad. Honestly, it could have been worse. The only problem though is that this guy has really terrible time management skills. Cause like she took a taxi, bro. She took a Uber actually. She took an Uber all the way there, and everything was closed, but the guy was nowhere to be seen. And then she went somewhere else, and the guy hits her up later on, saying that his phone was dead. It's like, bro, you knew she was arriving. Like, why couldn't you charge a damn thing? And then I guess the next day she took an Uber back. Like, I feel at that point she should have made him pay for her Uber rides, because you know he's wasting her time basically. Like the first time she went to see him, she paid for the Uber. The second time, same thing. Like, she paid for the Uber. Like, he should have at least covered the second time's Uber, bro. You know what I mean? It would have been a decent thing to do, because he screwed up the first time. But anyways, the second time she's seeing him and he wants to go cut another person there. just so happens to be like the time they're supposed to meet up, he has to go cut someone else's hair. That's ridiculous, that part, you know. But I mean, she was so patient though. At the end of the day too, like, you gotta realize the guy is trying to make ends meet, it sounds like, right? So I guess each client counts, because it doesn't seem like he has a job like that, and he lives in like a group home. So I mean, that tells you everything, right? So guy's trying to make his money, so that makes sense. That's fair. But at the end of the day too, it's like, it's her time, man. Like, couldn't you cut this guy's hair any other time, bro? Why does it have to be at that moment? Like, maybe after the date, you could have pushed this haircut till after the date. That would have had to do, right? But yeah. But I find it weird though how she gave him, like, she spent 3 months with him. She even let him move in, and at the end of it all, why is she complaining? Like, he didn't force you to be with him. You actually chose to. You know what I'm saying? Like, the first time his phone died, you went to see him, boom, that was on you. You chose to see him again a second time. Actually, before this, the very, very first time he ghosted you, boom, you gave him another chance. You messaged him, boom. And then his phone died when you got there, boom. And then you went to see him the second time again, boom. You want to cut someone else's hair. And you guys are just chilling at a barber shop for over an hour, like, boom, this is all on you. So in the end of it all, even though she claims that, like, all the flags were there, definitely they were there, but they weren't really bad red flags. I just feel like that guy's life is a mess. She decided she wanted a shot. She wanted to date him, so that's what you get. So yeah.
She's gonna be so pissed. Okay. Hey, baby.
Hey.
I missed you.
Missed you too.
How was your day?
It was good.
Yeah, that's good.
What you been up to?
Not much. You ready to go?
No.
I went to the store.
You went to the store?
Stuff for
Who went
dinner
with you?
tonight. What do you mean?
Who went with you to the store?
No one went with me. What are you talking about?
What's that smell?
There's no smell.
Smell it.
Okay, I do kind of smell it.
Inhale.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfume. Who have you been with?
I haven't been with anybody. I literally put in a new
Look me in my eyes and tell me you haven't been with anyone.
I have not been with anyone, I swear.
Why does it smell like cheap perfume in here then?
It does. It's cheap.
Yeah, cheap.
I just spent $20 on that damn air freshener.
It's not this is Pink Sands. I know what this smells like. It is not the same
Baby.
scent. Stop trying to gaslight me. I can freaking smell it. You better explain yourself right now.
No, I swear
Right
to
now.
God. Look. That's all it is. It's yours.
Yo, this is so funny. I love it how she's all so serious and stuff. She's thinking that there's another girl that's been in there wearing a cheap perfume. But you know what's funny though? Careful, because you don't know. Your partner could have a switch moment. You know what I'm saying? They could go loco. You know what I mean? Like, you guys don't know. You guys think it's all fun and jokes, but you don't know that side to your partner. Like, you could be playing a prank and they could just lose it. They could crash out. Before you know it, they could do something way extreme over a prank like this. So y'all gotta be careful, even though it's all funny.
Can you imagine your girl cheating on you? You ask her to leave. She doesn't want to leave. She then puts her hands on you. She abuses you. She lies on you, says you choked her. She lies on you and says that you choked her. And then you go to jail? All because you caught her cheating and you wanted her to leave. As a man, when the cops get called, shit is about to get spooky real fucking quick. Some of you are in relationships where the cops have been called and you still with that girl. Leave her the fuck alone. Xavier Worthy just went to jail. Thank God there was witnesses and video proof. You know what I'm saying? But she was willing to lie. This is what I think. I think whenever a woman lies on a man, she should get whatever time that he was going to get. If you say a man hit you and he didn't and he goes to jail, you should get what time he gonna get. If you say a man raped you and he didn't, you should get whatever time they were gonna give that man. Like this, imagine if there was no witnesses. He would still be in jail right now. If he had no proof there was no witness, his ass would still be in jail and his career would be over.
No, yo, this is so real. All of you men out there, go be careful, because sometimes you guys are dealing with lunatics, man. Like, imagine you getting cheated on and then she has the audacity to call the cops, and then you are the one getting arrested. At the end of it all, bro, you didn't do nothing wrong. Maybe you didn't even raise your hand at her or anything. You just wanted to get out. But she does some bullshit, and then she manipulates everything, and then boom, you're the one getting cuffed and getting sent to the county jail. Even though your ass got cheated on. Like, that's bizarre, bro. That's crazy as hell. Like, what? Like, you're telling me you got your heart broken and now you got your freedom taken? Like, that's mad. But yeah, that's the level of extremes these women will go. Let me tell you that. Like, you don't know. Sometimes you think you got it all figured out. You think you're just dealing with a regular girl, but Damn, you don't know who you're dealing with, right? They'll manipulate things, and before they even find you're innocent, bro, you're gonna have served like 10, 15, 20 years for shit you didn't do. That's why y'all gotta be careful. So you guys, if you're dating these toxic ass girls, bro, these crazy ass extreme girls, yo, watch your back. Let me tell you that. You can't even sleep properly at night though. You gotta keep one eye open because you don't know, they're so unpredictable, man. And you always gotta have documentation, man. Have surveillance running on your ass because, like, you don't know, bro. This is gonna be the one moment it's gonna save your ass. Let me just tell you that.
Okay, so you guys have been talking for 6 months.
Yes.
And you haven't been talking to anybody else.
Yeah?
So he's your boyfriend.
No, we're not dating.
Okay, so does he want you or not? Because he's holding up the fucking line.
Yeah, they gotta get this shit sorted out, bro. Like, I don't know what the hell it is. Maybe like no label kind of relationship, but like y'all gotta get your shit figured out because he is holding the damn line. You know what I mean? Whatever situationship that is, y'all gotta get it quickly sorted out.
Let me tell you what happened on Saturday, bro. Let me tell you. So I took my girl, man. I took her out. Bro. What's up?
I'm listening. Go ahead, bro. I'm listening.
All right, so I took my girl. Yeah, I took my girl. I bought her this other bag that she really wanted.
Yeah.
And it was...
And then?
My girl and I got into a fight last
Say
night.
you swear that.
What? Nigga, why you cheesing?
My bad. So, you guys are gonna break up?
What? No, nigga, like we...
Why not then?
You know, my girl and I's anniversary is coming up, and I don't know what to get her. What you think?
I say get her a lunch bomb fight.
What? Nigga, you know she's allergic to peanuts. Why would I do that? Why do you want my relationship to flop?
Yeah, yo, that's foul. Having men's like this who are ready to celebrate your downfall, like they're ready to celebrate your breakup, bro, just because they want your misses. That's crazy. How can you have these people as your friend, bro? These people are just backstabbers. Like what? Like you see your man's here going through a difficult time with his, misses, and you're all excited for it. Like that's devious, bro. I don't know how anybody could do that. And let alone that this is supposed to be your boy.
I went on my first date of 2025 a couple days ago, and it did not go well. I met this guy on Hinge, and we were supposed to go to the mall and shop at 1. I showed up at 12:50, and I had a text from him saying that he had gone to the bank and did some other stuff, and so he's not going to be there until 1:30. A couple minutes later, I get a text from him that says, actually, I just left my house. Well, he lived an hour and 10 minutes away. So I was a little annoyed at that point just because he's definitely wasn't punctual. I just went and did some shopping by myself and then sat in my car and watched TikToks. Once he finally texted me that he was there, I went ahead and I parked where he was, and I could see him across the parking lot going up to the door. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna meet at the door. And then as I was watching him, he went inside, and I was like, okay, well, it's really cold out, so no problem, we'll just meet inside. So like any normal person, I was expecting him to just be like waiting inside to meet me, but no, he just started walking around the store, and I was like going after him, and at one point I literally thought he was like running away from me. So I finally catch up to him, and he turns around and he looks at me and he goes, and I'm like, yeah, hi, it's me, like, hello, like, nice to meet you. He proceeds to say jack shit. I'm like, oh wow, he's like not interested in me, which is perfectly fine. Like, that's fine. Because usually when you're on a date and you meet someone, you're like, oh, you look really good. He said nothing. Literally nothing. And then he starts taking off around the store again, and I'm like trying to keep up with him because he's over a foot taller than me. So we're like racing around the store. So finally he decides like whatever he's looking for is like whatever, and we're gonna leave that store. And I told him like, hey, I'll try to like focus on stores that have both like men and women stuff so you're not like super bored. This whole time I'm like trying to make conversation, like, oh, do you like clothes shopping? Do you like this? Do you like that? And he's just giving me like one word answers. So I'm kind of like, you know what, whatever. I'm just going to shop for myself at this point. So I went into Francesca's and I'm looking around and I see this sweater. And I'm like, oh, this is so cute. So I'm like holding it up and like showing him. He's not even looking. At this point, I'm like, you know what? You're like really quiet. And he goes, yeah, I like to stick to myself. Bitch, you're on a date. What do you mean? Long story short, he like could not keep conversation. We were in a sports store for like 30 minutes and he's like, oh, you probably aren't enjoying this. I'm like, really? So finally we leave and we go outside and he walks me to my car and he's like surveying my car. He's like walking around circles and he goes, oh, this is a 2023. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what's the interior look like? And I'm just like, you can look through the window. You're not opening my car. But he's like, oh, it's nice. And so he comes around the car to my side and I'm standing like opening the door and he goes, that's it? Like, what do you mean that's it? That's it? Yes, that's it. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna go out to lunch with you so you can like sit and stare at me eat and not talk to me? Like, yeah, that's it. So later I get a text from him that says something along the lines of like, oh, I know you didn't have a good time. And I'm like, no, I didn't necessarily have a good time, but you know, it's okay. Like, first time meeting people, sometimes awkward, whatever. And then he says, are you gonna stop talking to me? At this point, I'm just trying to let him down easy because I wasn't really attracted to him anyway. So I was just like, oh, we can still talk. I just don't want to really pursue anything more than friends, and I don't really think the attraction was there. He texts back, I mean, you looked fine. I looked fine. I looked fucking beautiful. Like, I had curled my hair, I did my makeup, I had a brand new outfit on. I was getting stopped left and right from women in the mall being like, oh my gosh, I love your outfit, you look so gorgeous. Like, I feel like those women could tell I was on a really shitty date. So then he, like, after I, like, let him down easy, he, like, texts me, it's like, this is how it always ends, like, blah, 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 blah. And I just, like, I'm like, I don't want to be made to feel bad about it, okay? So yeah, that was how the first date of 2025 went, and I'm really wishing that the next one, or the next few after that, don't go like...
Yo, this whole thing is actually messed up because like at the beginning I was starting to think like maybe he got catfish, like maybe he didn't know who he's meeting up, you know what I'm saying? Like he went to the mall and then he saw her and then he tried to get away from her, but he doesn't want to let her know. That's why he's running around that mall. And then she's trying to catch up to him, trying to talk to him and all, but he's all nonchalant and ignoring and doesn't say much. I was like, you ain't into it. Like, simply put, that was it. Like, you ain't into it. That's it. No attraction, nothing. That she should have just went home. She was just wasting her time there, following him around like a puppy, bro. But then I got confused because at the end, my man's energy switched 180 degrees. All of a sudden, he's all about like trying to like talk to her, trying to like see what's up with her, telling her like he knows she didn't have a good time, blah blah blah. Like, you know, he's afraid of losing her. He feels like she isn't gonna text him back. Or I was like, well, what is this? Because like, you know, minutes ago, maybe even like an hour ago, his behavior was completely different, and now it's like all clingy and weird. I was so sure at the beginning he didn't like her, but at the end you're like, you see this, it's like, this is like psychopathy behavior, bro. Like, what? Is he bipolar? He has to be bipolar, because I can understand him not being into her, but by the end, why was he so obsessed like this? That didn't even add up, man. Left my head spinning trying to figure this out.
Did you hear about the husband who let his always late wife miss a big event just to teach her a lesson? So this husband and wife have been together for 5 years, and he is fed up of his wife's chronic lateness to all these events that they have to go to. He finds it extremely annoying and it gets on his nerves. Now, to her, it's no big deal because her husband always manages to get her there on time by telling her the time of the event is 45 minutes earlier than it actually is. She's never realized that he does this because she's too caught up with herself and taking photos of herself. That's the reason he says that she's always late. She has a decent following on Instagram and apparently she's hoping to be a content creator. However, he finds it extremely silly that she turns everything that they do into a photo session. And at this point, he stopped agreeing to take her photos altogether. Now, they've had many conversations about this and he's explained to her that he's finding it mentally exhausting having to always stay on top of her and giving her different times to make sure that they stick to the time frame and get to things on time. But she, however, doesn't do anything to address it. So this time round, he decided that he wanted her to experience the consequences of her actions. This month alone, he says they have been embarrassingly late to at least 2 events. And this was the first time that she started to realize that he hadn't been honest about the start time of the event because he used to always tell her 45 minutes earlier than it was meant to start. Now, a week ago, he told her that he wouldn't be doing that anymore and he expected her to act like a responsible adult and to be in control of her time. So fast forward, it's been her birthday weekend and he had bought a ticket to a show where there was going to be several performances, including her favourite artist as the first act. Now, as he already explained to her, he wasn't giving her a 45-minute buffer. He expected her to remember the conversation that they had, that he was not going to control the time and he was not going to give her an earlier start time to make sure she was ready on time. Instead, she was there doing her whole influencer routine. Decorating the room, setting up lights, getting all dressed up and taking photos. This whole time, he knew that she was missing out on her first favourite artist, all because she didn't take him seriously. He was done with the mental burden of always having to rush and plan everything. So they finally arrived to the show and she realised what has happened, that she has missed her favourite artist. Now, she got upset and she was crying, saying how could he do this to her on her birthday. She went on to say that it seemed like he was getting a rise out of how she was upset and that why couldn't he just put his ego aside for this one day that was her birthday. He told her that this was on her and that he explained clearly that he was not going to rush her anymore and that he should have listened to her the first time and expected her to follow through on what he said. She said that the whole point of this event was for her to see her favourite artist, whom they had missed. She was incredibly upset and she kept crying on and off throughout the rest of the show, and the ride home was extremely awkward. When they got home, he was in the downstairs restroom and she sent him a text saying that she wasn't welcome in their bedroom. He ignored this message and went into the bedroom anyway while she was changing. She gave him the dirtiest look when he walked in the room and he just explained to her that she can't tell him not to come into the room because it's his bedroom as well. And that if she's uncomfortable with him being in there, then she should take the couch. She ended up leaving the house altogether to go and visit her mom, and now he's reconsidering whether he's the asshole in this situation. What do you guys think?
Yo, to be honest, the husband wasn't on the wrong. He was on the right, actually, because that's disrespectful on her part. How can you be late for all the events? You know, you don't even put consideration into him too. And on top of that, even though he was trying to like punish her for that bad behavior or whatever, he was still putting effort. You know, he's still like booking whatever events for her birthday, concerts, whatever it is, right? I'm like, yo, that shows he still cares for you. Like, if he didn't, he wouldn't even have booked it from that day on. He would have stopped inviting you for events altogether. He would have just been going to events by himself because he knows, you know, because like she's doing too much. Like, you're trying to do your influencer type and you're not even having consideration for his time as well. And matter of fact, he's lying to you about the whole time span. He's telling you like 45 minutes in advance before meeting, just so you can get ready, so you can somewhat get there on time, right? And at the end of it all, he's starting to have doubt that maybe he pushed it too far. Nah, I think he was on the right. I think he did the right thing, but he's still soft, as you can see, right? Like, at the end of it all, she's hella disrespectful. You should have actually stopped taking her out altogether. That's it. Like, if somebody cannot commit and get their time sorted and is always like making you late to places, like, they don't deserve you booking these events or taking them to those events. Like, you can go by yourself or go with your friends, but do not go with them no more. You know what I mean? Because that's rude, yo. How can you be ready and you're waiting for it and then you end up late? Meanwhile, you were ready like an hour, 2 hours before. And then in the end, she has audacity to say that you're doing too much, like it's her birthday, like you're just having a kick out of seeing her like miserable, crying and all. Like, that's crazy. No. I think he did the right thing. She deserved to miss that performance, her favorite band. I don't care if it's her birthday or what it was. She deserved to miss it because this is what you get for your lack of time management, right? You're always showing up late. Yeah, this is what you get. You're gonna miss those important events, right? Because I guarantee you, if he had told her it's her favorite band playing, she would have been the first one there at the auditorium, whatever, right? She would have been the first one for that performance, because it's important. So it shows like everything else he's booking, it's not as important to her, right? So yeah, she deserved it. I don't think he was on the wrong. Anyways, yo, that's the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all thought. Talk about the, what do you call it, that date. Let me know about that date story, about how she took an Uber and the dude wasn't even there, and he claimed his phone died, and yet the next day he want to cut another dude's hair during their so-called on date, right? Like, that's crazy. Yeah, let me know your thoughts about that. Yeah, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. All right, peace.